Now, honestly, I didn't think I'd have to do a budget well over 1 million coins, let alone near 2 million, and probably still one step away from absolutely everybody. But I thought, you know what, we'll go 2 million because cards are now crazy. I'm not saying that you go out and buy a lot of these cards, but they are something to put your eyes on if you do manage to get some of these coins. Straight away with the goalkeepers, I've narrowed it down a little bit into some of the best goalkeepers and a solid SBC. So we've got just the standard. Once you hit over 900,000, 850 on sometimes, that is the top priced goalkeeper you can go for. So there isn't really too much discussion about them. They are in every single meta under because literally they are one of the cheapest positions you can buy. If you are looking at gold, my recommendation will always be Courtois. You could always go with Alisson Edison as well. Maybe even a cheeky Donnarumma, Ter Stegen or Black. They're okay, but Courtois would always be my natural selection for a gold goalkeeper. Peter Schmeichel is definitely the SBC keeper. Granted, it's not an SBC anymore, but I feel like a lot of people finish that SBC and still have him today, and he definitely does a service. Then we look at some of the newer ones. We obviously have a Van der Sar, did have a base version, which is just as good. And then he does have a double upgrade for the Thunderstruck. That, for me, is the best goalkeeper in the game, personally. You could always have arguments. Whenever I've done a ranking tier list on goalkeepers, best meta, top goalkeepers, it's always an absolute bloodbath. Because there isn't a set keeper. Some people like Czech. Some people like, I was going to say Onana, but Casillas. Let me know down below your keeper. I'm interested because this is the whole point, is keepers are just whatever mood you're in. Alisson being team of the year, I've always followed the trend. If I pack the team of the year goalkeeper, he goes into the squad. Unless I do get a Van der Sar. And finally, Czech is always there. I feel like this year he most definitely is much better in comparison to what I thought when he got first introduced into this game. Now, in terms of fullbacks and the rest of the squad, I've tried to narrow it down to the expensive cards, so you might not see your base Roberto Carlos, your base Ferland Mendy, or informed Theo Hernandez throughout the whole of it, because I'm trying to go with more of the meta vibe at the really top end, so you're not wasting your coins. And I feel like a lot of these players are there. I will argue that you might as well just go or have gone for the 90 backer if you finish that SBC, as really there isn't too much point to add Block Plus for an extra 1.5 million coins. But I've got to always address the fact she is a phenomenal left back. You've also got Ferland Mendy and Theo, two of the most meta centre left backs in the game, in the same promo. That is just absolutely nuts, but both of them are exceptional at their own craft. Obviously, you've got Ferland Mendy with a 4.5, always had the incredible pace like Theo, but he does have that physicality as well. I must admit, now you've got the team of the year Theo, you've also got a fantasy Ferland, which are just way above price. Like, we're looking, I think, 5 million and 6 million for their top cards. That's what I mean. Like, you've got 2 million coin budget on each position, and yet it still can't get you the top in most positions. We have got Roberto Carlos, arguably now one of my favourite left backs. He is fantastic, and it is slightly nostalgic value. If you are as old as me, you will remember Roberto Carlos, at least maybe not necessarily his full playing time, but you remember a lot of his playing time, and he is just brilliant. And I feel like that translates into the game really well. I always like a good free kick with him, especially if it is on a left-footed side. And just in general, they bumped up all of his stats, which I think is a perfect left back. Now, one that I thought was definitely a much needed increase from the base version to the UCL. It was a good upgrade. Turned him into a left back where I'm like, okay, we could have this argument. Then we got the hero. The fantasy hero. Much better again. It is only just a single upgrade. Double play style plus. It's coming in at 800, which is respectable. And I think with the upgrades, if he does manage to get at least one or two, that is going to be fantastic for his longevity in this game. And I'm interested, when does Capdevia get one?
If your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders.
And on the right-hand side, I don't feel like there's there's not a right back where I'm like, okay, this is who everybody goes for. And to be honest, left back's probably very similar as well, but at least you could pinpoint a Furland, a Teo, a Sakina, a Baka, Havertz, Roberto Carlos. There's a lot of solid names, whereas when it comes to right back, Frimpong has definitely been the standout from the team of the year, and I've always liked his Thunderstruck. That one is coming in now at 700, which is still an enormous price for not really a defensive card, but ability on the field is brilliant for him. But I think if there's only one name that I had to put, it would be Carfu. He has got an SBC that I believe is still available for a fair few days, so make sure if you are still looking for a right back, that is definitely a shout. And you do have now a Thunderstruck version that is 1.5. I would personally go for just the normal if you are not looking to spend massive amounts of coins. And then you also have Battle, who's just coming under 2 million. Any team of the year is always a good shout, but the jockey, the incisive pass, she's going to give you everything you need. And you could play left back if you really wanted to. If you've already got a Carfu and don't have one of these left backs, I mean, you could give it a go. I must admit, I thought there was more high price centre-backs within this budget. We are due to get a Lucio fantasy hero, which will be very interesting. It seems to be that all of the leaks are cards that have got stuff again and sprinkle in the Lucio that hasn't, but Schneider's been leaked. And I think there was a couple of others that I cannot remember now, but they have already got versions. I think this set of centre-backs is pretty good. I've put De Ligt in here, 1.2. Now hear me out, because realistically, he should be getting a pretty nice upgrade. I don't know how Bayern are doing in terms of goal scoring. Like, are they actually hitting? Because realistically, they need the 11. That's what I'm kind of getting at. I feel like they could get a clean sheet in there for. Definitely that will get De Ligt an appearance as well. And the one thing is he actually appearing? Because at the minute, I literally have kind of fallen off when it comes to Bayern news. If I go for their Leipzig match, which was the 24th, that should have given him a 1 increase, so he needs 2 wins out of the 4, so he should be 1 away. Lineup wise, he was in the lineup, so I think it's 3 appearances, I want to say, so most definitely should be getting at least the 2 upgrades. They have got, I did just have it there, they have got, where have they gone? So they've got Freiburg next, which is Friday the 1st of March. God, are we in the 1st of March? Then they've obviously got Champions League. Then they have Mainz. So, and then also it'd be Darmstadt. I wish I didn't butcher that. But then realistically, they need the 11 goals. They're going to need at least 9 in the next 3. So they're going to need 3 a match at the minimum. 1 more win at a guarantee for the upgrade. Then 2 more appearances. He could get a good shout of an upgrade, which I think for me is a big reason why you could be looking at a 90, 91, 92, or even a 93 rated De Ligt, which could be phenomenal for an upgrade. So 1.2 mil now, with the risk, I'm not saying go do it because they could lose their next 2 and that really puts the stress on, and most definitely you'll see that reflected in the price. But a good centre-back nonetheless. If you got like a less inflated price, he would definitely be in some sort of list for a centre-back. Company, on the other hand, now was he one that's getting one? I don't think so, because that'd be very, very odd if he got a 1 as well, because that'd be like 4 City players or 3 City, it'd be 4 City players that got one. Dembele, Chiesa, you've got anybody else? Ramirez was another one that I know. Yaya Toure, Schneider. Okay, they're the ones. So I don't believe Company's been leaked. I don't think he'll get one personally. I think this is it for the moment. And then maybe in the next run he might, which will be interesting because we haven't got very long till team of the season. From last year's programming, we had footballers next, which was a week long. And to be honest, I reckon they missed that. We then went into Trophy Titans, or no. In fact, scratch, I'm going too far ahead. We had Foot Birthday next, which should be icons. Then we had footballers for a week. I reckon they scrapped that. Then it was Trophy Titans with Trophy Titan icons and heroes, I think. So it could be a shout there. Then we went into Team of the Season. That is crazy that Team of the Season is not that far away. And also you've got the Euros as well, which is going to play a big factor. And also women team of the seasons. If they're doing that, I imagine they are if they've done team of the year. So it will be interesting to see where his next upgrade comes from. But I still think he is a phenomenal centre-back in this game. Same as Yashin and same as Maldini. Obviously with Yashin, that's why I've kind of not put him in the goalkeeper list. Because I think if you've got him as a centre-back, you most definitely don't need him as a goalkeeper. He is brilliant in this centre-back role. And then also Maldini, SBC was available. And he's also got a lower dynasties that is also in this. You've also then got a higher 2 rated from obviously the higher rated dynasty. And then also the future star Maldini as well. And any list has got to have a Virgil, no matter the price. I believe his winter wildcard is just a little bit higher than 2 mil. But you could literally just go with a gold and be fine. Now, this is where it gets interesting for me because I love the top end of this because there is so many good midfielders that you can get for this price. One that I'm not sure. I need your comments on this because I really don't think he's worth 1.8. But let me know down below if you've managed to pack him, if you've used him, you've got a loan, or you've just managed to persuade your friend to pass him over for a little bit. How good is Emery? Because I've not actually played with him specifically. I've had a couple of goes with an evolution version, but I don't feel like it has the same effect as this 90. I just don't know if I'm like 1.8 is brilliant for him or is it just a waste of time. So let me know down below if you've done him anyway. Like we said with Ramirez, he's kind of the main reason why I had him in this team, and it probably would have jogged my memory. He's going to be getting a fantasy foot hero. I love Ramirez in this game. The base was a telltale sign of how good he can be because the pace he's very much, I kind of, especially in this game, he reminds me very much of how Valverde is because that massive pace increase, obviously the kind of the box to box aspect of him is just brilliant. And I know full well it's not necessarily the starting card, like base was good, kind of then went under the meta. We got the UCL hero, it's just a single upgrade, intercept plus, I'm like, okay, we can move with this. Where's the weak foot upgrade? Where's the skill move upgrade? Can we now get a double? Is there a higher rating we can go for him? Once we get to, I don't know whether he gets a trophy times after this, but I can imagine a footies, a team of the season. If they wanted to go with team of the season heroes, please do. But there is going to be a point where we get a 94, 97 Ramirez, and that card is going to be crazy, crazy. Beckham, I feel like this guy just blew away for future stars. I loved him to bits. A brilliant upgrade. Very retrospect to the team of the year we got last year in the team of the year icons. He's just brilliant. He's a born centre mid in this game and he absolutely runs it. Same with Essien. I loved his base version for quite a while, to be honest. It was like him, Rijkaard. It was, who's the other one? You've got Essien, Rijkaard. Makalele was up there. There's another one that I'm forgetting. Another kind of top end. I don't know if it was a single nation in an icon. I can't remember it because you have the Petites, you have the Rijkaards, Essien, and there was somebody else that I cannot remember that was fighting that sort of role, and they're just brilliant. I think Essien's upgrade is fantastic. Aerial plus, Jockey plus, very, very natural card to get in that CDM role. And to be honest, whether you need a Matthias when you've got Essien or Beckham, but Matthias in himself as a base, he's very much like a Patrick. They are timeless classics. Same with Zidane, in fact, as well. All of them are base versions. All of them are the elite of the elite icons. And no matter if you got him team of the season, at the start of the game, even to some extent at the end of the game, you're pretty gassed that Matthias is in that pack because they are what everybody wants. You start in September, October, and you want them for the rest of the game. Literally, any of them are perfect in a pack. We then have Rodri. We have two different versions because personally, I'm a little bit more of a fan of the Fire, depending on what you want to use him for. Obviously, the Iced version has more dribbling, more composure, whereas the Fire one has more defending aspects, which is weird that you've got the power shot on the defensive card, but then, well, I suppose he's kind of got the shooting as well. It makes kind of sense, but it's just a weird one that you've got more defending on somebody that can shoot and less defending on someone that can't. I don't know, but I love Rodri in this game. This upgrade was fantastic, but then the team of the year is just that one step further, and I don't think he's actually like crazy priced. Like he is crazy priced, obviously, but he's not like 7-8 mil. He's 3.1, which is respectable for a team of the year compared to the rest of them. Then we obviously have Marquisio. Love the card. Could potentially get the upgrade. Anticipate and block. Beautiful card. He's just naturally really good in this game. We love the base. And obviously last year, he did it exactly the same. Incredible card. And then as a final one for the centre mids, Putellas. Love the card. I didn't even realise that she could play left wing in this version, but if you've obviously played with any version of her, you know the 5-5 is magic. Tiki-taka is always nice for the passing side of stuff, and she holds on to the ball for dear life, which is exactly why I have her in my team. And now we get to talk about some big boy wingers. Now, in terms of what we got in front of us, I feel like you could put most of these in and they would be brilliant for anybody's team. There isn't too many higher unless you're going for the 10, 12, 13 mil Ronaldinho. You're looking at putting a Team of the Year Mbappe on the wing, the Ginola that's 3 mil from the triple threat. Then yes, fair enough. But we're looking at left wingers and right wingers that you could have in the game till team of the season easily. Now, in terms of two that I'm kind of unsure, again, need your opinion, because personally for me, I know full well I would not pay 2 mil for Ansu. Love the kid, brilliant card. He's definitely a icon in my aspect for the evolutions. The very first evolutions I did was that 85 or 86 Ansu, and he was brilliant. Not to mention how many views he got for me. I will always put him as a staple of FC24. But to put a 90 version that's only 5 rated higher, Travella Trickster, decent pace, obviously the stats are looking good, but 2 million coins, I'm just not feeling it. Regardless if they go to the end of Europa, I just don't feel 2 million for an Ansu. It just isn't me. Then we also have Kelly. Now, the interesting part with her is 1.5. It's okay, fair enough. We've got a lot of wingers. Like, I'm not saying all of these are cheaper than these two. Most definitely, we'll go through them. But the one thing that interests me is the Rapid Plus and the Whipped Pass. I've had a few games and I think she is brilliant on that wing side. But the problem I've got is it all goes down to game style. If I'm not got a striker that's worth whipping the pass into, then you've got the Rapid to kind of exercise that where you can just kind of just go down the wing, pass it in instead of crossing. But that's where I'm like, if you can utilise both, I feel like she's worth a very good price. If she's only worth the Rapid and you don't cross, then I'd argue that you just go for somebody with Rapid instead. It's easy to say, most definitely, because you do have both options there, and I think that's where the price really sits in, plus the fact she can be upgraded. I don't know personally how good Man City women's team is. If it's anything like the men's, then we're going to be seeing a 93 Kelly, but I feel like that's the only reason why she's that priced, rather than necessarily much cheaper in comparison to like your Dembele's with a Rapid Plus. But again, let me know down below if you've played. Ginola, on the other hand, always love him. He's now under 1 million. A base hero is under 1 million. Like that is crazy that if you look at any other of them, they are nowhere near that price. It just shows the levels that Ginola is. And I'm quickly just looking. This is the problem. I'll look and I think, you know what? I can't even find the base heroes on here. I literally never can. I wonder if I could go with the new advanced feature. Will it show me the card type a bit easier? Yes, it does. Beautiful. So the highest priced hero is nobody on the game, apparently. Is 935, which is obviously Ginola. I think it tells you all you need to know. We obviously then have Hansen and Vinny as informs. Again, they've got better versions, which is natural. Vinny's, what was it, his Thunderstruck, I think he's just above the price because we do have the Honourable. We then also, yeah, they're the only two, in fact. He's only got that 2.6 mil and 3 million for, obviously, that Striker double playstyle plus Vinny. Again, excellent card. His gold card is still just only under 200,000. Now, that is the same premise as a Ginola at 900. 200k for a gold card is crazy in March, pretty much. Hansen, on the other hand, always love her as a super sub. She is brilliant going down that wing. The Team of the Year is an absolute joke. Obviously, she is very expensive. So, just naturally a very good card. We have Garincha and Best. Best being an SBC that is still available. I'm pretty sure he's got a few days left now. In terms of Best, he has got 20 days left. So 1.6 mil for 20 days to go. I'd put him in a shout. I would argue that you'd probably, if you're going for coins, I would be looking at Ginola. Future's definitely worth a look in. Vinny's definitely worth a look in. Obviously, Future is only 1 million coins, which with Rapid Plus and Incisive, they actually complement each other really well, which is very strange. The only problem with this card is that 3-star weak foot. I just wish they'd have bumped that up one more, but the card is absolutely brilliant, so still absolutely worth the price. Garincha, on the other hand, 1.7, very, very good card, but I think he is due an upgrade at some point. Maybe we even see a Jarzinho first, because it would have been Centurion's Winter Wildcard Team of the Year, so maybe Jarzinho sprouts his head again, which would be a very interesting one to see. Obviously, Doku, I really don't think he's worth 1.8. I do like the card, and I think from his evolutions, from the informs, he is due a massive upgrade in footies or somewhere. Maybe even a foot birthday as a 5.5. They could do it as a selling point. Whether they do, because Future Star was very close, but he is definitely going to be worth a lot more, and I think a lot of people will use him when he's more of a reasonable price. And then obviously Salah. I don't really need to explain him too much. He's incredible. Now we have the strikers. One more comment if you can. Pick one striker that is cheap, that you like. You either got in your team, you've got in your squad. What's that one striker that you either started with or just have followed a journey, can be an evolutions or not? Let me know down below that, because personally, my one's Kolo Muani. Love him from the start. It would either be Kolo Muani, Nunez, or even the gold Griezmann. But in terms of what we've got in front of us, we've got 2 Team of the Years. We have a very concerned looking Rashford that I knew it. I knew he'd go up. He was 2 million on the dot. And I was like, and as soon as I save it, I guarantee he goes up. Has he dropped down again? I hate when I put cards like that. He is 2 mil exact on here. So apparently it's 2 million exact. But this is saying 2.2. Regardless, I see 2 mil. I can put 2 mil. Whether I think he's worth 2 mil, again, very much like Future, I would love the weak foot upgrade. Travella's still good enough. I definitely think that would be a nice added bonus if he could have the rapid with him, but we're just making the perfect card then, really. Mbappe, 1.7. Now, if you thought 200k was good for a gold card, he is the most expensive gold at this point in the game since, I think it was FIFA 19. Ronaldo was like 1.9 in February. Whether Ronaldo dropped by this point, I feel like he's still going to be over 1 mil by team of the season. He just is flawless. Genuinely, whatever version, he's like Virgil, but the other end and 6 times more expensive. He's flawless in everything. Player of the month is always got to be done if Mbappe's name is written on it at least once. If you can get one of them, you can literally prosper on that forever. Sammy Kerr, Pop, 2 very different strikers. You obviously got the more rapid power header, where you've got the more aerial kind of powerhouse striker. Both in their own rights are fantastic at doing it. Pop, I think his finesse shot was brilliant going forward. She was phenomenal with it. I thought it was power shot actually, but is it finesse shot? Oh, it is finesse shot. Why did I think she's got power shot? Regardless, brilliant striker going forward. She was absolutely outrageous in front of net. Whereas Sammy Kerr, I loved her radioactive card. I thought that was a very underrated sort of card. Definitely not used as much. And now we've got the Team of the Year. She's just literally hitting new heights. We then have Timo Werner that arguably could be worth a shout. Very much like De Ligt, has that ability. He is only 500k, which I think is good for a card that is upgradable to a different level. Like, it's not just a +1 or a +2. You could potentially get a +4 on this card, whether they do. So if we look at it, unfortunately they did take their first L, which is not going to put them in a good stead. I feel like we're still looking at a potential of a +3. Again, it's going to be a bit of a hard draw, to be honest. They've got Crystal Palace next. That is going to be a must win. It's just got to be. They cannot go into their final 2 games of the 4 not having 1 win. We already have the first appearance from Werner, so that's always nice. So he's only got to get 2 more. As long as he doesn't go off injured, that is fantastic. You then obviously got Aston Villa next after Crystal Palace, and finally Fulham. So realistically, we hopefully will get a goal from Werner. That's just unfortunately what we've got to kind of guess for, really. The appearances he should get, and hopefully the wins could be. Now, if they do lose their next match, maybe he wasn't necessarily much of a smart choice, but I still think he was definitely worth the punt at the minimum. We then have some icons. Raul is the cheapest out of all of them. I still think he is a brilliant addition to this game. He was not necessarily needed anymore. In any sort of FIFA, he was kind of left behind. Maybe he got a nice upgrade that was ahead of the curve for a week at max, whereas I think the winter wildcard definitely put in a good shift. Eusebio is always Eusebio. He's very much like Mbappe. He is just a top tier icon. And the same as Rooney. I think this Rooney has had a glow up and a half. Finally a Rooney like Beckham that we could actually use. So I'm very happy with that. And then you've always got to throw Son into the mix. 2 million on the point. Rashford, I hate you for that. But in terms of him, he just, again, is normally one of them cards you wait for the team of the season. You kind of love the gold. You maybe get the first inform. And then you just wait for team of the season. People come and go past him. But the 4-5, the pace, the dribbling, the shooting, he is a brilliant card if you get him in any sort of upgrade pack, versus pack. We have a lot of gamble SBCs that he is going to be a part of. So let me know down below what you think about this. Make sure to do like and subscribe. And I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.